So I recently saw Hadestown on Broadway in New York. Then, even more recently, I saw Hadestown in Eugene, Oregon. On a work trip a while ago, my spouse also saw Hadestown on Broadway. So between us, we had 3 different versions of Hadestown to compare. And we had an almost 2-hour drive back from Eugene to Portland to talk about our different experiences of the same play. The theme of our conversation ended up becoming the difference between characterization and character. You can see the same story portrayed by very different people who are playing the same characters, but nonetheless their inherent being and the way they chose to, deliver those lines, sing those songs, makes you think of that character in a certain way. And that changed over the course of each version of Hadestown that we've seen. The character that started this conversation and the one with the most difference across the 3 versions, we think, was Hades. We had the original Broadway Hades, the version of Hades that I saw, and then this traveling production version of Hades to compare between. Original Hades was this very tall, stoic, godlike, cold version of Hades. The one I saw that came after was this very big, very confident black man, whereas the first guy was a very tall, svelte white man. Each were strong and powerful and scary in their unique ways, right? One immovable and stern, the other sly and commanding. But this Hades in Eugene, he was reckless, out of control, almost shouted more than sang or spoke. He was angry and vicious. He sounded like an abuser. He sounded like a Fox News pundit. He was genuinely scary. He felt less like a god and more just like an entitled white man, ruling with hate and fear, and not an inescapable, dreadful fear like the other 2 Hades. He was capricious and slimy. This is an old song, one we've been singing for 3,000 years, and every different iteration of it is going to bring a lot of different subtext, and a lot of that comes from the characterizations of each character by their actors. And this Hadestown felt a lot like our post-election moment. Hadestown is a tragedy and not supposed to be comforting. But theater and stories have this incredible way of speaking to the feeling of our times, even if they're telling the same story over and over. It doesn't matter how many times I have seen a Shakespeare play. It doesn't matter how many times I've seen A Midsummer Night's Dream, for instance. I will always go see it again. Because who you are when you experience a piece of media, who the portrayers are when they perform it. It's different night over night. It's different year after year. It's different breath after breath. We learn through storytelling. We observe and reflect through the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. And I love this musical.